In your face, all over the place. We're online 24/7. 24/7. You're listening to the hottest internet station, WLMR DB Radio.
Again, everyone, thank you each and every week for staying tuned in to Speak Out Your Issues with Miss Show You Right, Nadine.
And Sabrina.
And, of course, we have a fabulous guest here with us tonight, Mr. Bubba Knight, to be able to sit in and just give us a little bit about his music career. Mr. Knight, again, thank you for always being available, approachable, reachable to your fans and, you know, people, period. And we just wanted to take a little of your time tonight. And our topic tonight for you is your music career. So if you like, just tell the world a little bit about you. And my first question after that is, when did you know you had a passion for music?
Oh, okay. Well, first of all, Miss Joe, you're right, Nadine and Miss Sabrina, thank you guys. Thank you for the invitation, first of all. Now, when I first learned that I had a passion for music is when, a few times, number one is when I used to sing at Mount Moriah's Baptist Church, and I was in a choir called the Sunbeam Choir, and I had a solo in the Sunbeam Choir in church, and I sung. My line was, I steal away in my secret closet sometimes by myself, and I say, thank you, Lord, thank you, Lord. And when I did that, you guys, the sisters in the church started, hold on, the sisters went to shouting and clapping and running up and down the aisles and all of that kind of stuff in the church. And I'm going like, you know what? Let me tell y'all. It frightened me at first. It scared me. I'm a little boy. And when I did that line, and I did it with passion.
Right.
And so to answer your question, I think that was one of the first times that I knew that I had a passion for music. If I could move people like that, right?
Yes.
So that's one of the first times. And there was another time I'd like to share with you guys and your audience. When I say we, my sister Brenda Knight, Gladys Knight, William Guest, and I'm going to listen. This is just when the Pips were it wasn't the Gladys Knight and the Pips at that time. It was just the Pips.
Right.
Anyway, we saw at the YWCA on Tatnall Boulevard, right across the street from Morris Brown College, right?
Yes.
And we sang at this tea, and the ladies, they clapped their hands, and they were so happy with our performance, and it made me feel another form of passion for the music. And at that particular time, by the way, this is just a little note for you guys. At that particular time, we were called the Little Night Children.
So
we didn't have a group name at the time. We were just the Little Night Children.
The Little Night Children, okay.
Yeah, so those are the few times when, to answer your question about passion, those were a few times that I really felt the passion for singing and performing music.
Your happiest. And what age was that?
Oh, let me see, I had to be about 10, I think I was about 10, 11, 12.
Okay.
Yeah. We were little kids.
Right. And that was good.
Yeah, you guys know well, maybe you didn't know, but my little sister Gladys won Ted Mack's original Amchild when she was 7.
What?
Yeah.
So she had
listening audience that may not know, she won Ted Mack's original Amchild, and she won it. I remember we were listening to the radio when she won that night. She was singing at Madison Square Garden in New York City when she was 7, guys.
Wow.
Whoa.
Back then, that was rare. That was rare back then. You know, yes, that was.
And you know what? See, y'all got me talking now. Y'all got me talking. All right. Come on. Okay, I'm gonna give it to you. Show you right.
That's a show you right. Show you right. A little ATL history. That's right.
Yeah. Now let me tell you, we have been fighting the white privilege ever since we've been in the business. Okay. And on that particular show, and I share this with you guys, on that particular show in New York City, my little sister Gladys was the only African-American contestant on that show that reached the finals. Okay?
Wow, yes.
Yeah. And she reached the finals, and she won that sucker, man.
See?
Yeah. So, one of the things that I learned about that, the little white kids that was on the show, and their parents, they wouldn't even congratulate my little sister.
Well, you know how that is.
Y'all know how that.
Oh, yes. Born and raised in the South, ATL, Georgia. Yes, do understand. But it's always a higher being that let the light shine through. And she's always been a smooth singer. You know, I've always loved all of her because they heartfelt. And that's the way I see how you sing as well. And it's that original, it's that, you know, genuine way of singing and pouring it out to the people. I really appreciate that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you guys know what? And you know, with things like that happening to us along the way, being discriminated against, being at places that we couldn't perform because we were African Americans, all of those kinds of things. Now I'm talking about me now. That motivated me.
Yes.
That motivated me to be the very, very best that I could be, no matter how they looked at me or the group or any of my family. I did not let them define Bubba Knight and who I was and who I knew I was and who I knew what to do and what I could do and do the best that I could with the God-gifted talents that Heavenly Father had blessed me with.
Yes,
so when y'all hear my music or me, it's coming from that kind of foundation.
Right,
you know,
right.
I really want to give y'all all I can give you.
I hear you, and I really appreciate that. Do you have any questions or comments, Miss Sabrina, that you'd like to ask or add?
Yeah, you said it. When you encounter something like that, it only motivates you. It's like reading mail from, reading comments and mails from haters that are trying to put you down. And you're like, oh, okay, you want to put me down? Let me show you. Because the more you try and put me down, you got to buy my stuff. You got to look at me in order to form your negative opinion about me, right? So you just really helping my music. You helping me along, right? And you helping me be the best that I can be. But
right.
the part that really just kicks in for me is when you said, I know who I am.
Right.
Because that's my comment at the end of every show. I say, when you know your value, no one can ever diminish your worth.
Exactly.
If you knew from the beginning who you are, you know whose you are. It didn't matter what they said about you. One thing they could not say out of everything they were saying and everything they was doing, one thing they could not say you couldn't sing. Okay? They may not have wanted you there, but they needed your music. They needed your voice. They needed what was individually yours. It could not be duplicated. They needed that there. Because that was bringing the people. That what brought their show. That's what brought up the ratings. Because you all were there and you were different and you were bringing a different vibe. One thing about music does not discriminate.
That's right.
True.
It does not discriminate.
True. That's right. So true.
Hey, man, I don't care what kind of category they try to put you in. It does not discriminate. If it's good, it's good.
That's right. That's right.
Look out. Y'all better stop.
Yes. And everybody be trying to follow you, But when you was mentioning that, it came to my mind that, like you say, at that instance of when you knew, hey, they gave you the spark of motivation, that spark was enlightenment to me from God of letting you know, hey, knowing especially, living in Atlanta, Georgia, and coming up, it always give you that surge. That's what, I heard coming from you. It's like, hey, no matter what, I'm going to be, like you say, excellent. And in fact, during that time, hey, you got all of that kind of talk from your mom, dad, neighbors, everything. Be the best you can be. So really appreciate you sharing that.
Excuse me, show you right, but Mama Knight, our mother, my mom, she was a total inspiration for all of that kind of drive and not letting people tear us down.
Wow.
She was that, Mama Knight was that inspiring voice and that inspiring spirit. She's the one that taught us about faith and about believing in ourselves.
See.
I remember my mom gave me a book when I was a little boy called what was the name of that book? Oh, The Power of Positive Thinking.
Yeah.
By Norman
Vincent
Peale. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
My mom gave after I had gotten it from her, she enforced it with that book that she gave me to read. And Mama and I also did something that I want to share with you guys, is that she, when we were struggling with some of the music and some of the decisions that we were making with the many different record labels that we were with, Mama Knight reminded us about that the power of positive thinking. And she gave all of us a little chain with a mustard seed at the end of it. And this mustard seed was in like a little marble.
Wow,
and she took those chains and those mustard seeds to get blessed at the church, right?
Yeah.
And she brought them back and she prayed with us and she hung those mustard seeds around our necks and said, children, as long as you have the faith of this mustard seed, you're gonna make it.
Wow.
Yep.
Whoa. Wow. Yes.
Mama Knight, y'all. Mama Knight.
Like when you're sitting there and you're like, you're facing all these huge obstacles and you're seeing what you think are obstacles. Yep. And you look down at this little tiny mustard seed, not even bigger as a pinhead.
That's
and you're
right.
like, wait a minute, all I need is this kind of faith? Oh, I got this. Let's go. Move.
Yes. Get out the way. That's right. Hey, not get out of their way. Get out the way. Move. Get out the way.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, yes. I love, man, Mama Knight, man. Oh, man, she was, Lord.
Let me tell you something. There's nothing like a praying woman. When you got a praying woman, boy, look at here.
Yes, indeed.
When you have a praying mama, let me tell you something. Oh my goodness! Wow, I love that. Miss Ali, I'm doing it. I'm getting you.
Hey, I do too. Yes, indeed. Yeah. She gave you something to look forward to. While you were telling that story, I just wanted to ask, where do you fit in reference to your siblings? Are you the last or middle or oldest?
I'm the second from the oldest. My sister Brenda, Brenda Knight. She's from the clock now, but she was Brenda Knight, and then Bubba Knight, and then Gladys Knight, and then my little brother, my little late brother David Knight. It was the four of us. My mom and dad had 2 girls and 2 boys.
Okay.
And Brenda was the oldest. I come second, and Gladys comes third.
Okay.
David was fourth.
Oh, that was that. It just happened to come to my mind just to ask you, you know, how many siblings and where you fit in. So you were up there with the older, so the oldest Brenda. Son, the oldest boy. He was the oldest boy, and she was the
oldest girl. Brenda
no, I'm saying you were the oldest male.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
That's right.
So, hey, you've really parted some powerful information in reference to if our audience definitely are listening, he's really departed information to grow on into share and to use as well. Just for those that are tuning in, you are on Speak Out Your Issues with Miss Show You Right, Nadine and Sabrina, and our guest tonight is Bubba Knight, and we're just having a conversation with him. Our topic is, hey, your music career, and he's sharing a lot of great information. Miss Sabrina, is there anything else you'd like to ask him before we go to the next question?
Because I may ask the question that's the next question.
Yes.
Damn, I'm sitting over here on my legs shaking. I got a question.
And of course,
I love you guys, man. You guys are great.
Thank you.
This is really good.
Yes.
Really good.
Just asking what challenges, if any, you have encountered, throughout your music career, and the way you sound and the way you have it. You don't let challenges get in the way. But I just wanted to ask that question, and we appreciate it.
Oh yeah, the challenges that we encountered was was considered, and I may have covered this a little bit before, but being considered the best, although we were African Americans, sometimes we ran into challenges. Say, for instance, as an example, we played this club in Atlanta, in the suburbs of Atlanta, a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
And we were singing in this club, and it was an all-white club. Okay, and some of the people, not all of them, but there were a group of racist supremacists in the club that night. And as we were singing, they had been drinking and got all drunk and everything, and I know they were. And as we were singing, I didn't mind them not liking us as a group and as singers, but not liking us because we were African Americans.
Right.
That's what messed me up.
Mm.
And how I know that it wasn't our performance that they weren't happy with. it was that we were African Americans singing in one of their territorial clubs.
Right.
And the reason I knew that is because before they started throwing beer bottles at us, okay, before they started throwing beer bottles at us, that's when you could have beer bottles in it. I heard the word niggas.
Oh, wow.
All right, so that's how I know, and that I knew that it wasn't just us giving a bad performance.
Right.
It was us being African Americans.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
And that was a challenge. And like I said before, it just made me dig deeper.
Yes.
Dig deeper and try to make my talents, our talents, not mine, because I wasn't a solo act at that time. We were a group. So make our talents. I just did the best that I could do with the part that I had.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
And there were a couple of other times that these kinds of things happened. Oh, by the way, that club owner that invited us to perform in his club, he took action. And he was white as well. He took action. He brought his bouncers, that's what they used to call it.
Right.
You know, they weren't bodyguards like what's happening now. He brought his bouncers in that club, rooted out those people that threw bottles at us, and threw them out the back door.
See, that's
you
right.
Hear me? And this, so that's why I say not all white people, but some went that route. And they paid for it because they were drunk and they threw them out of the club. All right? And I'm sitting in the car, I'm a little fella. I see what's happening. And this club owner, I have to give him props. This white club owner and the people that ran that club, man, I give them props because they apologized to my cousin Pip, who was our manager at that time. They apologized to him and told him to make sure that he told us as children that all white people, unlike the white people that were attacking us.
Right.
You feel me?
Yes, indeed.
So, that was those kind of challenges we went through. And that was one other one that I want to share with you and your audience, is that we were playing at a club down south. I can't remember whether it was Alabama or Mississippi. We were on the Supersonic Attraction tour, and we were playing downstairs. They had a dance for our African brothers and sisters. There was a dance, and we performed on the floor of this dance. It wasn't a stage; it was the basement of this auditorium. And as we performed with them, the second show, the promoters took us upstairs to the theater seat where we performed to an all-white audience. Okay?
Wow.
So then that same night, the white police officers that was backstage outside told us that, okay, when the show is over, you have to leave town. All right? Y'all talking about challenges.
Wow.
These are the kinds of things that will make you say, you know what, I don't want to be in show business.
In the segregated South, okay?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what I was thinking, because when you said, every time I hear that word, I cringe. Because we get upset when other ethnicities call us this word.
The N-word.
We've adopted it. Yes, we've adopted it culturally. It's okay. If it's not okay for another ethnic group to call you that, why would you settle and call yourself that? It still has the same derogatory meaning.
Yeah. Yep.
So I never understood that. I couldn't wrap my brain around this. Why we're still using a word that was meant to demean us and put us down. And we've taken that and used that as a language and how we identify ourselves back to, each other. I detest that word. I really do.
I do too. And please apologize to me for using it, but I need to let you know.
No.
It was great.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
I said that in the content that you said it in.
Right.
Because, I wanted to make, I felt that we really need to make a statement. We fight against so much. Yeah. Why not fight against changing our vocabulary as it relates to words that we know back in the day and still today are derogatory or meant to make us seem like we're less than.
There you go.
We have to stop. We really and truly, we want to make a statement and we want to change the narrative. We have to be the narrative changers. We have to be the ones to say, okay, I'm not going to let you call me that, and I'm not going to call myself that, and neither I'm going to use that language for anyone else in my community.
Yes.
Right.
But say that because it's so hurtful. It really is hurtful. So back in the day, I mean, literally, we watched our ancestors, back in the day, get holes down, beaten with nightsticks, and bombed, and crosses burned on your yard and hung with that word hanging over us.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we take this word and we use this word like it's okay, and it's not. It still carries the same meaning. Every time I hear that word, I think about our ancestors who have died, were murdered. And that word being the last thing they hear before they close their eyes.
Amen.
Right.
That's just me. Okay, let me put my stool back under the. Okay.
Oh, that's okay. With that, yes. Right.
And the reason I went there is because I wanted you guys and the audience. My pain.
Yes.
Right.
I want you to know.
What
you can tell it still hurts because it was the way you delivered it to us. You can tell that it still carries the weight of the pain of being called that and disrespected like that. And I just wanted us to know that the meaning hasn't changed.
Yeah, it's the same.
So I just wanted to ask you all. So let me ask you.
Can we go to a station break? Can we go to a station break if you all don't mind? Hold that thought because it's great conversation. Great getting to know. Yes, great getting to know Bubba Knight, how it was in his music career coming up. But with that, we're going to take a station break. We'll be right back. Remember, you're on WLMR DB Radio with me, Show You Right, Nadine and Sabrina. We'll be right back. Again, thank you, everyone, for staying tuned each and every week to Speak Out Your Issues with me, Show You Right, Nadine and Sabrina. And before we left on the station break, we was deep diving in good conversation with our guest, Bubba Knight, telling us some things that he's encountered when he was young and in his music career. And that question was, what challenges, if any, you have encountered? And he told us a couple of them. And I think Miss Sabrina was about to ask a question or make a comment. Miss Sabrina?
Oh, yeah, so my question was, I know we've all heard it on one, we've heard it on, just read it on Wikipedia, and, if you're followers of Gladys Knight and the Pips back in the day, you know their story. But I just want to hear it again. Where did the name Pips come from?
Okay, the name Pips came from my cousin, James Woods. He was Brenda, Gladys, and Bubba's first cousin.
Mm-hmm.
His name was James Woods, and he was known around Atlanta, our hometown, as Pip, not Pimp. Not with the M, not with the M.
I hear you.
Come on, you guys. Come on. I gotta keep it straight. I gotta keep it. Show you right.
Okay. That's to show you right.
Around town was Pip. Okay. And everybody knew him as Pip. Pip was asked by Mama Knight again to be our manager and our overseer and take care of us because we were little children out there.
Wow.
And Pip took us around to different, at the Royal Peacock and the Royal Casino, all of the clubs, Ben Reed Supper Club, and there was a club called the Builders Club and a club called, what's the name of that club across the street? And we were in a contest at this club across the street from the Royal Peacock. And we won this contest for 3 weeks, and you had to win 3 weeks in a row.
Wow.
And we won that contest, and we had just named the group the Pips at that time. Okay? And remember, I don't know whether you remember that, but when I was telling you about the YWCA, when they used to call it, they said, ladies and gentlemen, here's a rendition from the Little Night Children.
Right.
But our two cousins was in the group. William Guest and Eleanor Guest was in the group by that time. So we had to form a name of the group, and we decided to name the group the Pips after James Woods because he was so instrumental in getting our career off the ground.
Right.
And he was the one. Now check this out. He was the one that got in touch with Charles Gear. Come on.
Okay.
Wow. Follow this history trail.
Yes.
Yeah. He was the one, along with the club owner at the Builders Club, who recorded Every Beat of My Heart in his nightclub that night.
Wow.
Okay? Pip, Fats Horner, and Tommy Brown got Charles Gear to go around Atlanta and promote this record that they had recorded in that club, which was Every Beat of My Heart.
Oh, okay. I remember that one.
Story is unfolding, you guys. That was intentional stuff. That's just Heavenly Father moving his spirit in his magic.
Exactly.
Y'all better quit.
Okay. So I got one more question.
What you got?
Okay. So I don't know about everybody else. I can't speak for the masses, but this is just for Sabrina because I have to relate to myself. Okay. My favorite song, probably millions of others, is Midnight Train to Georgia.
All right.
Yeah.
What was the inspiration behind that song? How did you come up with that song? Because that song is still playing today. Okay?
Oh. That's right. That's right.
2 days today. So who wrote it? What's the inspiration behind it? Was it because you all were traveling? I mean, it was about a relationship, I know, but like what motivated or who came up with it and who wrote it?
Okay, this is the deal.
Okay.
Gladys Knight and the Pips, what we used to do is we collect songs from all different writers, different producers, and we would take these songs and we would rate them. We would give them stars. If they got 5 stars or 4 stars, that'd be 5 stars, we record them first. 4 stars next, 3 stars, and so forth and so on. Now, we were listening to some songs for Buddha Records. And we happened to come across this song that Jim Weatherly had written. He's in the Country Music Writers Hall of Fame, okay? The late Jim Weatherly, he passed away. But anyway, his song came up, and Sissy Houston made the demo for him.
Oh.
And the demo from Sister Houston, by the way, is Whitney Houston's mom.
Right.
Okay,
right.
For those of you who didn't know that.
True, right.
And Sister Houston's demo was Midnight Plane to Houston. All right? And we liked the story. We liked the whole thing. But we didn't want to give it to Houston. By us being Grady babies, and being from Atlanta, Georgia, we decided, let's see if we could get Jim Weatherly to allow us, and songwriters don't like for you to tamper with their song, their lyrics, their anything, right? You like they wrote it. You know, right?
I can attest to that. I can feel that, yes.
Yeah. So we had a meeting, and we asked Gladys, get Jim on the phone and ask Jim if we could change the name from Houston to Georgia. And Gladys got Jim on the phone and told him that, look, we're from Atlanta, Georgia. And Ray Charles had our Georgia on my mind, right?
Yes.
Georgia on my mind. And so we're going like, hey, we're from Georgia. Let's try to have a song from Georgia that we record and honor our home state. And she asked Jim if she could change the lyrics to Midnight Train, because that's the way we used to travel in cars on the train. We weren't flying. We didn't have no money. Well, anyway, right. So he said, okay, you guys are from Georgia. It's all right for you to change the name. And that's how the name got changed from Midnight Plane to Houston. Midnight Train to Georgia.
Hey.
You are, let me tell you something.
That right there.
Hold that song up. You hear me? You own that song. Okay? Y'all put a hurt on that damn song. You don't know how many folk, glory, that related to that damn song. I'm telling you, it was just, like I said, today, that is one of your main staple songs. You know, when you have Oldie Goldie Night, you know, even our young children, even our young today, they listen to songs like, you know, the late greats and stuff, and just to know that, you know, hearing the story, how a song came about, it's usually someone's story. A song is a poem that's a story. Someone's telling their story about what they've gone through. So I was just like, man, I would really love to know, you know, how did that come about, and what was that about, you know? Not knowing that it was Sissy Tyson's song. I mean, Sissy Houston's song. And she, you know, I know when she heard Midnight Train to Georgia, she said, I'm going to Georgia.
That's the way it make everybody feel.
That was powerful.
Yeah, it wasn't even out. It was just a demo that we heard. See, it wasn't released on Sissy.
Right.
It was just a demo, man.
I know he was glad he said yes after he heard that track.
Oh, yes.
You know what? Jim Weatherly, before he passed away, God rest his soul, but before he passed away, he had an interview. They did an interview on Jim Weatherly, and Jim Weatherly told the story to that person who was interviewing him about how we called them to change the name of Midnight Plane to Houston to Midnight Train to Georgia. He gave us all the props for it.
See, because that music, it transcends just every beat, every tune, every sound. It was made for Georgia. Everybody love that. You can play that at any time. Everybody be trying to sing it, do the karaoke. Trying to be Gladys Knight. Yes, trying to be Gladys Knight.
And when you do the woo woo, you gotta make sure you pump your arm. You know, you do that step with your leg and pump your arm. There you go. That's the song right there. Your sister knows. Awesome.
I want to say your sister knows she sung that song, and I know you all was great, you know, background singers, but she really zeroed everybody into it when she was singing it. You know,
yes, indeed.
it really was amazing.
See, that was the Spirit talking, you guys. That was the Spirit talking.
Yes.
You hear me?
Yes,
that was the Spirit.
indeed.
Heavenly Father did that thing. I remember when, just another tidbit on it, and I try not to go long, but y'all got me talking now.
Go right ahead. Tell us about your music career.
Yeah, y'all got me telling the stories now.
It's all good.
Okay, let me tell you. We recorded Midnight Train to Georgia in a garage.
What?
Okay.
Yeah, we recorded it in this guy's garage. And I remember my little sister, man, she did one take on that sucker because the Spirit was speaking to her. When she sung it, like you say, you could feel that coming off of the song.
Right.
The audience could feel it. And she did one take on that song. And then, because we had put the background on first. That's how we used to do it. We used to go in and make up the background, put the background on, and let Gladys sit on that bed. And that was the chemistry for Gladys Knight and the Pips.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when she got down to the end, and y'all gonna recognize this. Okay, she got down to the end of the song, and there was one little piece that was missing on the end of the song, and she did. And I talked to the engineer, and I punched the talkback button. I was in the studio. I punched the talkback button, and when she got that part, I said, "Little sister, say, I got to go. I got to go. I got to go." So that's
That's right.
Look, even if you won from Georgia, she made you want to go to Georgia.
Exactly.
And midnight like that on the train. Even if you're in the car.
Okay.
You're going to park your car at somebody's station and get on the train. I used to watch you all, perform on all these, and Sullivan, all these different shows. And and I was just like, well, and even they were like, okay, you have to sing Midnight. I mean, they're just like, that's our request, okay? You have other songs that we understand. You don't knock your other songs, but you just have to sing that song. And that's just like, it's like a staple. It's like what identified you all and brought you all out as a group.
That's a blessing. That's our blessing, you guys. That's our blessing. That's what Heavenly Father put us together to do.
Right.
And there may be, and I always say this, but there may be better singers, better dancers, better performers, all of that kind of stuff. But nobody can take away the chemistry that Gladys Knight and the Pips had. Chemistry now.
Exactly.
Chemistry.
Exactly.
Blessed chemistry from Heavenly Father.
See.
But you also had your own sound too.
Right.
Because her voice is different. As soon as she opens her mouth, you know it's her.
Right.
You all singing, you all was doing your thing, and you can hear the background. I mean, literally, it's as if you were
one.
Exactly. And like, when you sang, it made her like, okay, it was like you all were talking, singing. Yeah. So you're having a conversation. It was more like a conversation. So you were in the background singing, and she was responding.
Yep.
And so we were a party to you all's conversation.
Oh my
I was like, that's how I felt.
Well, yeah, music was magic back then, and they really, like he said from the beginning, put his all in, and you, like you said, we all felt when anytime Gladys Knight and the Pips come on, hey, everybody be ready to show out, even children being from. Yes. Yes, indeed. But let me just.
I got another story for you. No.
Hey, hey, like this is your time, it's your music career, and we really appreciate you bringing out, information in reference to how good of a time that you all had, and listening to you, like you were saying, what your mother instilled in you. I still feel that spirit of you all walking in the way she taught you all. And I really, appreciate that coming over and just, letting us know a little bit off air, how you live your life and so forth. But I'm sorry, you was about to say that, and we're going to go to a station break.
No, thank you for saying that. And Mama Knight love you, although she's looking down on us right now.
Hey,
for that.
Well, I appreciate it because I need that. I need some help. But with that, we'll take a little short station break, you all. And for those who are just tuning in, we have our guests on Speak Out Your Issues tonight. Women Show You Right, Nadine and Sabrina, Bubba Knight. And he was just sharing information about his music career. And we'll be right back. You are on WLMR DB Radio.
The voice of the people say, thank you for the love. Doctors, nurses, frontline workers, you stepped into this coronavirus lion's den. You're our medicine. Your special skills give us more chances to live. Doctors, nurses, frontline workers, you heard the call, still braved it all. Put on your PPEs, started to relieve patients dying, these with a ventilator to breathe. Sirens blasting for you to hear. Neighbors clapping from their window sills, showing love to keep your spirits upright. A prayer to keep you both day and night. The People's Medal of Honor we give to you, doing what heroes and sheroes do. Your bravery makes us proud as we stand. Sincere gratitude, let me say it again. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the, thank you for the. Stay home, self-quarantine, to stop the spread of deadly COVID-19. We wear masks, gloves, stay 6 feet apart, to help you win the war we're all fighting for. We believe he will be our vaccine to end all nations' deadly COVID-19. First responders, you've been supreme. The sun will come out and the whole world will see. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the love. We thank you for the, thank you for the, thank you for the love. Domo arigato. Merci beaucoup. Grazie. Muchas gracias. Dankeschön. Thank you.
Again, thank you all, everyone, for staying tuned each and every week to Speak Out Your Issues with Miss Show You Right, Nadine. We just took a little station break there. We do have our guest, Bubba Knight, was just enlightening us as well as you all on his music career. So as we were off the air, he said before going on air, off the air, he said that he had another story to tell us. We just making him talk. Then he was just mentioning in reference to the Pips. But go ahead, Mr. Knight. Like you say.
I had mentioned in one of your other segments about the chemistry that Gladys Knight and the Pips had that made the music that you and some of our audience listening, some of the listening audience people who loved. That chemistry won't happen again because William Guest, Edward Patton, my two cousins, Langston George, and Elmer Guest, all of those relatives and friends that we had in the group have passed away. And I'm the only living, except for my older sister Brenda, who was part of the first group. We're the only living members of the Pips that's left. So those you had mentioned something about us going in the studio and recording again and that type of thing, but that won't happen unless Heavenly Father has something in store that we have no control over, that He may have, that He wants us to do. So I just wanted to share that because William Guest, Edward Patton, Langston George, Brenda Knight, Elmer Guest, all of those members of Gladys Knight and the Pips had a profound effect on the Gladys Knight and the Pips that you know of today. So, anyway, I wanted to say that.
Right. And I really appreciate that.
And you know what? I give all them props. But you had mentioned in one of your other segments about, I don't know, I think it was you. I don't know whether it was you or not. Show you right.
Yep.
You said Soul Train.
Oh, that was Miss Train. That was Sabrina. Yes, that was Sabrina.
I remember that show. I remember seeing you all on there. I'm telling you.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Let me tell you guys. Y'all made me think about a story that happened to us back when we were performing at the Hilton in Las Vegas, Nevada, okay? We were headlining at the Hilton. We had a contract with them. And our manager, Sid Seidenberg, had us to go to L.A. at the Brown Derby, a restaurant called the Brown Derby in L.A., to meet with a DJ, a disc jockey out of Chicago named Don Cornelius.
Oh, wow.
Hello.
He was a DJ.
Hello. Okay. So we flew to LA just for that damn call night. Why are we gonna fly in LA just to meet with this disc jockey? But it was okay. Because he was a brother.
Yes.
And I had no problem with that. Although we were performing at the Hilton that night, we had a contract that we had to honor, right? So we flew into LA, we met at the Brown Derby, and we met with there was like, I would say 12, 13, 15 people in that restaurant. And we walked in and we sat down, we talked, and they presented us with, they wanted us to perform on this show called The Soul Train, right? But Soul Train wasn't on the air yet. It was
wow.
And we told them that, hey, we have a contract at the Hilton. And I was telling Don and the rest of the people there that we couldn't do it because we were working that night in Las Vegas.
Right.
So after the meeting was over, Don asked if he could have a private word with the four of us, right? So we went back in the room, and Don said, Bubba, all those people that are sitting in that restaurant are sponsors. They are sponsors of the show that I want to put on called the Soul Train.
Mm.
Yeah, come on, you guys.
Wow.
And I'm going like, but Don, we got a contract. We can't come to LA to do your show and miss our show in Las Vegas because they're gonna sue us.
Right.
And he said, look, I said, oh, I know what I told him. I said, Don, why don't you go there and tell Barry Gordon to get something more down there? Wait a minute now. Wait a minute. Go tell Barry Gordon now to let some know Motown acts do your show. And Don told me, he said, I asked them, but they won't let me. I'm going like, what? And he said, if y'all don't do the show, all the people in that restaurant are going to walk out. Those sponsors, because I don't have a name act to open my show.
That was a blessing. Yeah, that was a blessing.
Y'all hear what I'm telling y'all?
Yes, the decision you had to make. You all had to make.
And then, brother, I'm feeling for him, right? I'm going like, let us have a little meeting. So we met and we voted, and it was unanimous. We're gonna do this brother's show, no matter what happens. And he told us that if y'all do my show, I promise you, I will fly you guys in, and I'll fly you back to Las Vegas in time for y'all to do y'all show.
Wow. Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm telling y'all the truth.
That was good. I can imagine.
Yep. And we
powerful.
We flew into LA and we did Soul Train's first show.
Yes.
Oh.
So Don could get on the air. So hooray for the brothers and the sisters.
I remember, Lord. That was back in the day. That was really powerful.
Awesome. What a powerful testimony.
But,
yeah, we stand with the brothers and sisters. Yeah.
Well, you know what?
That show off, let me tell you.
I tell you, y'all had those.
One of the longest running, right? Am I correct?
Yes.
They've come back.
Soul Train with the voice of our community, you guys.
Right. Exactly.
Around the world, not just here in America.
Exactly.
All over Europe, everywhere.
Yeah, and they love it. They showing it today in reference to them dances and stuff. I be like, oh Lord, how limber they were and danced. They kept themselves limber. But you all, I know it's getting close to definitely our hour of power, and we really appreciate it. Like Miss Sabrina mentioned, you're always welcome to come back. Matter of fact, you know, we'll definitely be inviting you back, possibly to do on another night that we do Speak Out Your Issues. So, and it's been definitely great. Hey, I didn't have to mention about the third question, which was tell us about your journey. That's in the music business, but that's exactly what you did. We really appreciate that. And I would just like to ask, any last questions, or not questions, but anything that you'd like to leave.
Yeah, let me just tell you guys one thing. I right now I'm starting a production company in Las Vegas. It's called the Pipco Music Family.
Oh,
and right
okay.
now, and I have a record out that I recorded called "Thank You for the Love." It's a tribute to the doctors, nurses, and frontline workers that I wrote. And giving them tribute to what they have done for us through this pandemic.
Yes.
And it's called "Thank You for the Love," and it's out right now, and you can go see the video on Spotify and some of the other platforms like that. It's called "Thank You for the Love," featuring Rachel Oliver Carmen, and she used to be the lead vocalist of Atlantic Star. And she goes to a church in Las Vegas that my friend. And anyway, the Spirit is working again, you guys.
Great.
Working again.
And that's what's needed.
Thank you for the love.
Thank you, and thank you for being on
the show. Love. Y'all gave me love. Y'all gave me love this evening.
Amen. Yes, indeed.
Amen.
So good.
Yes, indeed.
I was like, it's going to be on the night while I'm telling you.
I love you guys. Thank you so so much for the invite, okay?
Hey, no problem, and thank you, and you take care.
I'm going to go watch the game now.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. The World Series. Yes, indeed.
All right, I love you guys, and take care, okay?
Love you too. You too.
Thank you.
Have a great night. Okay.
All right. Woo-woo.
That train to Georgia. Yes, indeed. It was definitely a pleasure of having Mr. Knight on our Speak Out Your Issues show. And is there anything you'd like to state, Miss Sabrina? Because we had a full hour.
We did. That was so much fun, Miss Ali. But I want to leave our listeners with what she said. Just embody what we talk about. Our closing statement at the end of our show: when you know your value, no one can ever diminish your worth.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And with that, I hope you all definitely felt all the energy, all the worthiness, and just all the good old-fashioned information of knowing what to do and how to, and just living your life a good life. You have a great evening, great week. Don't forget to tune in this Sunday, Eastern Standard Time, 6 to 7, WLMR DB Radio. You can check us out on TuneIn. It should be on our iHeart, Spotify. We are on several stations, but you definitely can get it on TuneIn, WLMR DB Radio. With that, you have a great evening.
In your face, all over the place. We're online 24/7. 24/7. You're listening to the hottest internet station, WLMR DB Radio.